Welcome, everybody, to the CyberSec Show. We're back again for another week of super fun and exciting cybersecurity stuff. Let me know if the music's too loud, because I can never remember the settings to set it right, so do let me know. In this live stream, we're going to be covering war stories first, where I'll go through a couple of stories from people in the Discord server who have been kind enough to share their stories from recent times at work where something hasn't quite gone their way. So I've got 3 very short stories to go through tonight. After that, we're going to be doing the cybersecurity news. And then after that, we're doing life lessons, which if you followed the last live stream, I asked you guys what your goals are for this year. And I'm basically going to be following up with those people. I've only got 3 entries here, so that's okay. But I'm going to be asking those 3 people, if they're here, what's going on. After that, we're going to do the power round. And that's always fun and exciting because we basically get to go through all of the questions that you have that you want answered right here live. So, before we get started, before we get going, this is on Twitch as well as YouTube. I'm multi-streaming. I know the Facebook thingy is down there, but I can't be bothered with Facebook, to be honest. So I just didn't do that. But it's on Twitch and it's on YouTube if you ever want to go and find me on each one of those. It's the same thing. So you do what you want to do. What's been happening this week for me? A few things. I've started another little project thingy on the side, which is kind of fun. I'll talk about that in months to come though, because it's literally just a thought at the moment. I sold my car. That happened on the weekend. So I think on the last live stream, I had just sold it. I've been a week without my Mini Cooper and I love that car. It was a great car, but I am kind of happy to see it go at the same time, to be completely honest. In other news, I have been posting a lot of content on my other YouTube channel, which is just called After Dark. I'll send a little message in the chat so you guys can check that out if you want to. And yeah, it's not cybersecurity related at all. It's literally just my life and me just talking absolute rubbish, which is, I guess, not that different from these live streams. With these live streams, you might have noticed this one has a number on it, and I renamed the other one to also have a number. So it's 1, 2. This is the second one of this year. And yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. Because basically one of my own goals for this year was to have 30 of these live streams in a year, which is definitely achievable. But I just thought it'd be kind of fun to number them all, and that way it's a little bit easy. It's kind of like with other podcasts or shows where you get to see the progression of that live stream evolve into whatever happens with it. So yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. Let's get onto some of the let's do the thing. The thing. What is the first one? The first one is war stories. So, before we do this, before we go too nuts on the war story, I'll put the overlay on here. Yeah, that happened. And I know that's really loud because I watched back my live stream the other day and it was crazy loud. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys my setup. This is my desktop. This is what I got. These are my folders. I've changed a lot of stuff. This bar is normally transparent, but it looks like Taskbar X has bugged out in the stream. And because when I look at it, it's not like that. But anyway, beside the point, I got some little rain meter stuff going on over here so you can see what the go is. Let's get into some of these war stories. We're going to start with one here from a Discord community member called Orpheus. So his story is, I had this one time, I had finishing work on this coding ticket and it worked well, but it was fully tested on my local environment. But then I pushed it to pull request and got my senior engineer to merge to master. But as the CI pipeline was running, there was a conflict in the deposit microservice NPM packages, and it took the deposit service down for a solid couple of hours. That is incredible. That's pretty bad. So that business is it's like a cryptocurrency business. So for them to lose the ability to be able to make deposits, or members to be able to make deposits, it's a pretty big deal and pretty bad. So anyway, that's the one from Orpheus. We have the next one is from Muznito or Muzneto, however you want to say it. I'll bring it over here so you can see it. I might even make this slightly bigger so you can actually read it. Let's have a look. There we go. That looks better. All right. From Muzneto, latest Windows update fucked up our Radius VPN works for offsite staff. Excuse my French. Currently no workaround, so we had to uninstall the update manually and are looking at how to defer that update to prevent it from reinstalling. Yeah, updates are always a lot of fun and something to definitely look out for. Things don't usually go too well with updates, especially in large enterprise environments. And yeah, that's obviously a pretty terrible thing to happen. But anyway, yeah. Who have we got in the chat here? I was just looking. I've seen a bit of chat going on. We got Mark Jerobi Galanders. Get jiggy with it. Do it. Get absolutely as jiggy as you can. Bobby is here and he's loving it, which is fantastic. Bobby is all the hype. Neoshame, what's up, dude? Yeah, I'm doing good in Australia. WAQXD, some other characters. What icons are you using? I'm using a pack that I downloaded off DeviantArt. I don't know. They're basically like these little pixel things. So yeah, they're kind of cool. I mean, they work. Anyway, the last war story before I go too crazy. This one is from Beamer. You guys probably read it while I was talking. And his war story is updated user's laptop to Windows 11. Get a phone call on service desk a week later with user asking me how to get this weather forecast back on her toolbar. When I query if this is pertinent to her job, she replied with no, but I like to look at it while I eat my lunch. Inform the user to search weather on Google. That's a good one. This is Windows 11 and there is no weather thing here. And I actually also enjoyed the weather thing, which is why I put it back up here. So I've got a little moon because it's 11 o'clock at night and it says it's clear and 24 degrees Celsius, which is it's pretty cold actually for Brisbane, which is why I'm wearing my dccybersec hoodie. It's pinned merch. Go and click on it. Check out the merch if you want to stay warm in winter and look awesome as hell. This is it. This is what you need. Anyway, we're going to go on to the next segment, which is the CyberSec news. All right, let's cue the music. You guys ready? I'll give you a fair warning this time. Here we go. It's really loud. I'm very sorry. All right, let me find where I've put my news articles. I got a couple here. They're pretty interesting. I'll go with this one first. Linux malware sees 35% growth during 2021. This is from Bleeping Computer. Bleeping Computer, please don't get upset that I'm reading your news. Everyone should go to this website. The number of malware infections targeting Linux devices rose by 35% in 2021, most commonly to recruit IoT devices for DDoS attacks. IoTs are typically underpowered smart devices running various Linux distributions and are limited to specific functionality. However, when their resources are combined into large groups, they can deliver massive DDoS attacks. They basically put it into a botnet. This CrowdStrike report said in 2021 there was a 35% rise in malware targeting Linux systems compared with 2020. Zor, DDoS, Mirai, and Mozy were the most prevalent families, accounting for 22% of all Linux targeting malware attacks observed. Mozy in particular had explosive growth in its activity with 10 times more samples circulating in the wild the year that passed compared to the previous one. So that's some pretty serious stuff. And with these things, when you create like a massive botnet, right? So if you were to go to Shodan and search for Linux IoT devices, I know that's a very unrelated search, but if you were to search for it properly, then yeah, you could potentially do a lot of damage just by doing it that way. I know a lot of the organizations I work with are medical organizations, and they have a lot of really crappily configured IoT stuff. And the medical industry is just, it's really typical for that industry to have this sort of stuff going. And I know in the last year, there was a lot of alerts coming through for those IoT devices, like more than anything else. And that's saying something because there was also a lot of stuff going on with Exchange in 2021, which caused a lot of people a lot of grief. But yeah, that's the story. 35% rise in attacks on Linux. The next one is also from, I think they're all from Bleeping Computer. They are. All of these articles are from Bleeping Computer. This one is QLocker ransomware returns to target QNAP NAS devices worldwide. Now, QNAP, for anyone who doesn't know, is a massive vendor of NAS devices, and they are like literally everywhere. So it's a pretty big deal to see this. I mean, a lot of small businesses use QNAP devices. Even some really large businesses use a NAS made by QNAP sitting there. So anyway, the article says QLocker returns in new 2022 campaign. The new QLocker ransomware campaign began on 6th of January, and it drops ransom notes named readme.txt on compromised devices. Here's an example of it. It's this typical, all your files have been encrypted. These ransom notes also include the Tor site address, which is that address which the victims are prompted to visit to gain more information on how they will have to pay to regain access to their files. So the usual crypto lock thing, but this time it's on NAS devices. So that's pretty serious, especially if your machine bombed and then you had to basically like go to your NAS backup and it's crypto locked, and you're like, well, shit. So I mean, a really good way around it would be to A, patch the device, but B, to just wipe the NAS and then patch it. But yeah, I mean, that's not an option available for everyone. So yeah, it's a pretty big rise here, as you can see in QLocker. And it's a pretty big deal. So that's definitely worthy of making the news for this week. Excuse me. Next one up. Bleeping Computer. Russia charges 8 suspected REvil ransomware gang members. Now this is the big news. This is the big news of this week. The story reads, 8 members of the REvil ransomware operation that have been detained by Russian officers are currently facing criminal charges for their illegal activity. On Friday, the Federal Security Service, or FSB, of the Russian Federation, the country's domestic intelligence service, announced raids at the home of 14 individuals suspected to be part, of the REvil ransomware gang. The operation was done in cooperation with the Russian Interior Ministry after US authorities reported on the leader of the group and demanded action to be taken against cyber criminals residing in Russia. So it was actually more of a joint operation where the US really got upset about something and said to the Russians, you need to do something about this. Go and arrest these guys. And they did, which is kind of cool. There's a list of a few of the people here, which is interesting that they've just put that up. But yeah, the suspects have been jailed for 2 months as a preventative measure, and all of them are investigated for illegal circulation of means of payment, counterfeit credit cards and other payment documents, cryptocurrency, etc. Because of this, cyber criminals on some hacker forums believe that the suspects were arrested for carding, which is, that's a pretty poor thing to get arrested for these days, but it does still happen. It's very common. So yeah, the story goes on. I highly recommend you guys have a read of that one at some point. But that's basically the biggest news story of this week. Let's bring the camera back to, actually, let's put it on the desk while the music's changing. Let's get this one in there. I just looked outside my window to make sure no one's watching me dry hump my desk. What's on my desk this week? Pretty much the same stuff as last time. I have my I found DC using OSINT. All I got was this lousy pouch merch. I've attached some little Nike shoes to it because they're cool as hell. And I've got my Get Lube sticker. If you guys want to get lubed, get a Get Lube sticker. I've got some chips from the casino. I went gambling last night and that was fun. Don't gamble. I highly recommend not doing it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Apart from that, I've got my GoPro here, which I've been using a lot more recently, which has been fun. For the After Dark channel. So that's been good. Yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much what's on my desk. Anyway, we are almost back at the starting point, or the end point rather. Let's have a chat about some life lessons. Sharma says, isn't it illegal to get chips out of the casino? I don't know. I'm gonna plead pure ignorance on that one. All right, we have from last week. I'm gonna bring this screen. Actually, no, I won't. We have Jerry Azagba from last week said, goal this year is to get A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and CYSA Plus this year, and be a good scripter in Python and lab up a lot. I'm keen to see your labs. I hope that that happens for you. If you are in the live stream, I haven't seen your name pop up, but if you are here, let me know in the chat how you're going, and I'll update my list of how you're doing. If anyone else, by the way, has any goals for this year that they want to throw in, we're only on the second episode of this year, so you've got plenty of time to achieve those goals. Let me know in the chat. I want to see stuff in the chat. I want to see you guys and your goals and what you want to get done this year. On to the next one from Ammon Palmer. His goal is to learn to live more life. That's a good goal. I'm beyond burnt from technology. To be honest, I'm only 23. That's it's a common story that I've heard far too often in this industry, in IT as a whole, actually. And yeah, definitely take some time for yourself. The next goal is from Bjorn, who is, he's not here. I think he's on a Tinder date. And his goals for 2022 professionally is 1, pass the OSCP, pass the OSWP, get a CVE, so just get a CVE, cool. And reach 150 members with the Safer Internet project. Help 15 people start in their career of cybersecurity. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like it. I like it. They're good goals. They're good goals to have. I can see a couple of people here throwing their goals in here. We got Endless Templars. Got some boring goals. That's okay. I want to hear them. Raul's just saying hi. What's up, Raul? Give me your goals. I want to see what your goals are, dude. Get them in the chat. For everyone who has a goal, I'm going to be following up on these next week. So let me know, because I want to check in with you. I want to make sure you guys are actually achieving these goals and doing well and you know, kicking ass. That's what we're here about, right? So that is the end of life lessons for this this stream. But as I said, I'll follow up on those next week. All right. Should we do questions? Do you want to do questions? Do you guys want to ask what's on my desk again so I can play that song? Up to you. I'll give you a second while I have a sip of water. Oh man, there's some good goals coming in. I'm just reading through these. These are excellent. Excellent. All right, cool. Let's get into the questions. If you guys have any questions, now is the time to ask those questions. Anything you want to ask me. It can be cybersecurity related. I would prefer it if it was cybersecurity related. If it's not cybersecurity related, maybe save it for after dark. But I mean, that's entirely up to you. You guys, you do you. I'm gonna bring up the life lessons in a sec. I'm just waiting for some questions to come in. Bobby says he wants to see Bella. I don't think Bella is in here, but she's like right here. So she's just chilling. Yeah, so no Bella for you. She's asleep. Get your questions in, guys. Come on. I want to see these questions in the chat. Until then, I'm going to quickly go through my emails and close them off. Yep, it's all rubbish. There's still more goals coming in, which is fantastic to see. I'm definitely going to be following up on all of those next week. So I hope you guys are ready for that, because I'm going to be asking you where you're at. I'm going to be following up. And if you haven't made any improvement, that's okay. But I will poke you. I will poke you until you get those goals done. All right, we got a question here from Twitch. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Let's get the Q&A power round music going. There it is. There it is. You got the power. Do you guys have the power? I hope you do. The first question is from Sharma, and he said, what do you wish to be as a kid? When I was a kid, I wanted to be a superstar. I wanted to be a rock star. I kid you not. Everyone else wanted to be, you know, like a policeman or a fireman or a bloody astronaut or something crazy. And that's fine. I just wanted to be a rock star. And I haven't quite got there, but I guess this is about as close as I'll ever get. It's live streaming to 20-something people on YouTube and Twitch. So does that count? Is that close enough to rockstar status? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Next question. Bring them on in. I want to see some more questions here. Otherwise, the stream's gonna die real fast. I think I saw one before. I'm gonna scroll up the chat. Where is it? Nope. There's none. The guy with lots of letters in his name said that was loud. That sucks. But yeah, sorry about that. All right, here we go. Here's a question. We got questions coming in finally. The next question is from Aira, and he says, "Hey Sec." That's the first time anyone's ever called me Sec. Could you suggest me some top universities to study undergraduate in cybersecurity? I can. Which country? Which country do you want to know the answer to that from? While I'm waiting for you to answer my question, to answer your question, we have another one here from. Oh, it didn't fit on the screen. That's annoying. Let's fix that, shall we? All right. This one is from Sharma again, and he says, does online cert like OSCP help with some improvement in academic research for someone, like a student? Like nowadays, it's just considered to be confined to papers only. Yeah, I mean, the OSCP is a really good certificate to have. And if you look at like the majority of pen testing jobs on any of the websites out there that are looking for pen testers, the OSCP is on like 99% of them. So yeah, I'm going to go back to this question from Aira because he has answered part of my question to his question. Which was to recommend some universities to study undergrad in cybersecurity. I'm going to tell you about my favorite one in Australia, which is Deakin University. I have no ties or affiliations with Deakin. I just really like their course content. So Deakin University is a great university to kind of get started with. So yeah. Next question is from Raul, and it's an interesting one. What is your Hong Kong journey from start to marrying Ange? Ange isn't from Hong Kong. She's from the mainland of China. If she's in the chat, shout out to Ange. What's up? The journey was, we met in this city where I am now, in Brisbane, and there's a lot of details in there that I'm going to leave out. But yeah, we got to know each other, and time went past. We moved in together, and 7 years later, we got married. That's the story. Next question is from Leonard, and the question is, what's a typical career progression for like a pen tester? Well, for like a pen tester, what you would normally do is have some sort of work experience in IT first. And I know you're thinking like, what about the entry-level jobs? There's not a lot of entry-level pen testing jobs, to be completely honest. A lot of places do get you in, but they kind of expect some sort of experience, even for a junior position. So they usually expect experience in IT in general. Which is why myself and Gareth started the Safer Internet project, is to give you that experience so that you can put on your resume, and I can be a reference for you and tell them exactly how awesome you are so that you get those jobs. Apart from that, you could, like, the career progression is to go from a pen tester into maybe a senior pen tester, or to go sideways into pen testing very specific types of systems. So you get really good at one, and then you basically continue doing that type of pen test over and over again. And that might sound boring, but it's not, because even though you're pen testing the same system, it's actually not the same every single time. Like, every business system is different in one way or the other, and I mean, like, not everyone updates their plugins and things like that. So yeah, that's my answer to your question. Next question is from Endless Tempest, and they have said, if I wanted to get into malware reverse engineering, is there a good site/source you'd point me to? That's a good question. I don't know, actually. For reverse engineering, the only way I could think of is to essentially learn it yourself. It also depends on what sort of reverse engineering you want to do. Are you talking like software, or are you talking like reversing into a phone, or what? There's different types of reverse engineering as well. So it's kind of hard to know which one, but and which resources out there are. But to be honest, I don't really know a lot of resources on reverse engineering, because it's such a niche area these days. It's sort of considered just in the whole of cybersecurity. So it's just like one of those things that's included. But having a pretty good knowledge on development is usually required, and especially in whatever that system is written in that you're trying to reverse. If it is software, if it's not, yeah. It's kind of hard to know. Did I miss a question? No. No, I didn't. Cool. There's no more questions. That's great. I'm going to have a bit more water. And this might be the shortest CyberSec show ever. Every time I do one of these, I look out my window and like my neighbors are always like looking in through, like, what are you doing? And I would close the window, but I kind of like it being open. So yeah, let them look, I say. Oh man. Let's go Brandon. No idea what that means, but yeah. All right, here we go. We got some more questions coming in. They're coming in hot and fast now. Here we go. Stephen Comtois says, are there remote cybersec jobs? Yes, absolutely. There's heaps of remote cybersecurity jobs. But yeah, it depends what kind of organization you're going to work for, to be honest. So a lot of the government ones, actually the private industries, I find, tend to want you to go into an office. Whereas the government ones are a little bit easier going, and in Australia anyway, and they don't mind you working from home. It also depends on what sort of COVID restrictions there are in place. So if there's a lot of restrictions happening, then obviously you would be encouraged to work from home. But some places, like the one I work at, they prefer me to be either on site or in the office all the time, no matter what the rules are. So yeah. Next question is from Jose Damien, and his question is WGU, also known as Western Governors University, versus OSCP. Could you go over your thoughts? I do say that, to be honest, that the having a degree is a pretty important step in cybersecurity. There's many different reasons why, but the main one is because it kind of covers the basics of everything, whereas the OSCP is only really going to help to get you into being a pen tester. So if you just want to be a pen tester and that's it, then I guess the OSCP is a good start, but it's not really an entry-level certification either, I don't think, personally. So, I mean, that's up to you. Next question is from the lots of letters. He says, is software reverse engineering essentials for an offensive security career? No, it's not. It depends as well, though, to be honest. Rio has said, here's a question from Rio. Let me just fix it up so it fits on the screen. All right. Are there any good starting points for attaining clearances like NV1 or its baseline, or do you need to be sponsored by an organization? Yeah, you need to be sponsored by an organization. The tricky thing with these clearances, though, is that they really want to know that they've got the right person for the job to be able to pay for the crazy fee that comes with an NV1. I'm not saying that it's rare, I'm just saying that the interview process is usually pretty intense. There is another way to get it, though. If you're an organization and you want to attain a clearance as an organization, you can go through the ACSC partnership and basically do a clearance through there, but you have to gain clearance yourself and you have to pay for all of those fees yourself as well. And it's really not cheap. It's like 30,000 Australian dollars, give or take. So yeah, kind of hard. Next question is from... Oh man, this one didn't even fit on my screen. Hold up, let me fix this. Alright, here we go. I gotta make this fit on the stream. There we go, it's a big one. Sharma, again, with a question. Smashing it from Twitch, sorry. Should one tweet like a microblog every day about their progress in CyberSec? Every day, like whatever tools, concept is one taking a deep dive every day. You said every day 3 times, so this is making the conversation very confusing, Sharma. We'll definitely put a word out there that someone budding is growing up. What do you think? I mean, yeah, Twitter's a good place to do it. I would probably do a vlog though, to be honest, because it's more engaging and they get to know you as a person. So I think that's actually, I was replying to a comment today on a video that's 3 years old. And and at that time I was saying like, oh, thank you everyone. I have 700 subscribers and I love it. And I'm so happy to have all these subs. And that guy was saying like, it's really good to see the growth of this channel and the journey that it's taken. And that kind of answers your question for you in a way that people do really enjoy seeing the journey that someone else is taking into cybersecurity. And a good example of that is a guy called Grant Collins. If you haven't checked out his channel, he started his channel when he was at university and talking about all of the things that he was learning. And now he's graduated and got himself a job, and he's talking about the job and how that is working for him. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. The word I'm saying is vlog, video log, or whatever it stands for. I don't even know. All right, we have a question here from Rymac. Welcome back, Rymac. Good to see you here again. The question is, what are the essential skills required for a SOC analyst? Good question. I would say to be able to understand process is probably the most important one. Also, to be able to manage your time effectively. So I know they're like soft skills, but that's because you can kind of learn everything else that you need to know. And that's everything else that you need to know you can learn on the job. And it's going to be, general IT stuff. If you can understand how a ticketing system works, that's awesome. If you can understand how Splunk works, because if they're not using Splunk, they're probably using something fairly similar. So doing that free Splunk fundamentals course, Bobby in the chat, can you please find the link for the Splunk Fundamentals 1 and chuck that in the chat? Or anyone, can anyone find that link and chuck it in there for that dude? But yeah, those are my those are what I would say are the requirements for most people that I saw going into a SOC. And back when I was a SOC team lead about 2 years ago, 2.5, I don't even know, a long time ago. When I was in the interviews, those are the sort of things that I was looking for, is someone who could work in a team and effectively manage their time properly. Next question is from Kartik, and they have said, why do you have a basketball net in your room? It's hanging up on my door. It's just up there. That's what, I've messed up my camera now. Look at me go. Yeah, so I mean, it was a gift from someone and I kind of like it, so I put it there and that's where it is. I have a little basketball for it as well, and I occasionally throw it and break something, so yeah. Next question is from Ari, says, also, could you suggest to me that I should go for ethical hacking or cybersecurity? Which one do you like more? Is my answer to your question. And when you find out which one you like, pursue that one. Next question is from Rahul, and he has said, like there are rules and regulations in Australia over GRC, do you know if there are any in India? I'm pretty sure there are. Oh man, I read about something along these lines like a couple of months ago, like just before I met you. It was a few months ago now because I've known you for a while. And yeah, there is something. I will find it and I'll send it to you on Slack a bit later. Next question is from Grim Jim. Welcome back, Grim. Good to see you here. I'm gonna quickly fix the question so it fits on the screen. There we go. Grim Jim says, do you think you can substitute a degree with multiple certifications? I'll answer that question first. Yes, you can. But you really need to be careful about being overqualified in certifications. So that's one thing to consider. Next part, or do you think a job applicant with a degree will always have an advantage over someone without a degree? Sometimes, yes. It really depends. So it's kind of hard, but yeah. Oh my god, I'm missing so many questions. They're just bouncing off the screen. But yes, to answer your question, yes, you can get a job with just certifications. But it is, I think, a little bit harder to do it that way. Next question is from Matt, and the question is, how do you recommend retaining what you studied? Also, how much should you learn a day before it's too much? There is a limit to everyone's capacity of learning. And I mean, I forget a lot of the stuff that I've done a long time ago. For example, batch scripts and stuff like that. I used to do them all the time, way back, like over 10 years ago when I was doing like sysadmin work and networking stuff. Now I would have to Google it to find out how to write it, because I just can't remember, because I haven't done one for ages. But yeah, I mean, that kind of answers both your questions. Nobody knows everything, and retaining the knowledge, it's kind of like riding a bike. So you learn to ride a bike and you haven't ridden a bike for 10 years. Then you go and you jump on a bike and you know the basics of how to do it. You're probably not as much of a gun at it as you used to be, but a little bit of practice and you'll be good again in a much shorter time frame than you did when you initially learned that thing. Thank you, Bobby, for putting that link in there. Someone's written some Chinese. I'm trying to remember how to read this. It's like something about landscape, or you're talking about the painting. This one, it says the painting's good, or something like that. Thank you. Thank you for that that question, or that statement rather. Next question is from, oh, that didn't work, from Jerry. Jerry, welcome. Question is, by the way, Jerry, I read out your life lesson before, and I want to follow up on you on how you're doing with that. So throw it in the chat. I want to know how you're doing with your studies at the moment. The question from Jerry is, what's the difference between ethical hacking and cybersecurity? Isn't ethical hacking under cybersecurity? Yes, it is. So ethical hacking is essentially the same as pen testing, but they both fall under the cybersecurity industry. So if you were going to go like IT as the top, and then there's like programming, database people, networking, sysadmin, and then help desk, who kind of do everything, which is why help desk are the champions of the industry. And under cybersecurity, then there's your SOC analysts and the reverse engineering guys and the forensics stuff, which kind of fits into reversing. And then there's, did I say pen testing already? I don't know, pen testing as well. There's all of those different areas under cybersecurity. So yeah, they are, like, there is a difference between them. Next question is from Ustav Parek. I hope I said your name correctly. And the question is, which certificate do you first for entry in cybersecurity? I think you mean, what certificate do I recommend to be your first certificate in cybersecurity? I would say the CompTIA Security Plus. It's a great cert to have, and it's just a good cert to have. It's well rounded and yeah. Next question is from Jose, and the question is, when will the cost of SAN certs make sense to me? When they drop like thousands of dollars off their certs, then I might understand it, maybe. But I don't know if that's gonna ever happen. So yeah. Next question is from Kartik, and he says, if someone hack Russian website from USA, then is it crime? Yes. Is there something like international cyber police? Each country has their own government, obviously, and in those governments, there are cyber teams. They would probably, I mean, depending on how bad it gets, they might take it to Interpol or something like that, but Usually they just report the crime to the relevant government agency that is in that country and tell them, just like I was saying before with the Americans said to the Russians, we need you to arrest these REvil people, and they did. Cooperation, it works. Look at them go. Endless Tempest has a question here, which I've quickly skimmed over. The question is, good odds you've answered this one before, but just in case, how do you split up work, study, and fun? I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Just give me a sec to move all my windows around so I can show you what a typical setup for me looks like. All right, here we go. Oh man, I left the news on there. Sorry for giving everyone a heart attack. This is my calendar. So the big blocks in the day are when I work, and these are all the extra things I do at night time. So there's like a really big dinner that night, gym, edit YouTube video, gym, shadow pen test sessions with Safer Internet Project. There's all sorts of stuff, and I mean, that's literally how I organize all of my time. So yeah. Oh my God. Sorry. I'll turn the music off. But yeah, that's basically how I have always organized my time, and I probably will continue to organize my time until the end of time, because it's easy to do like that. Next question is from Jose Damien again, and he says, where do best hackers live? They live everywhere. That's the problem. There's no such thing as the country with the best hackers, unless you're talking about like there's a government agency. I can't be bothered getting into it, to be honest. But there is like is it Israel? It is Israel, I think. Yeah, they have a pretty intense offensive security team. Next question is from, when I turned off the music, I lost my thing. Let's put it back. All right. Zone Pro says, where should an absolute beginner start with studying? If you have the opportunity to go to university, then I would say go to university. If that's not going to happen, then potentially have a look at doing some certifications. There is opportunities for people who study certs only, and yeah, there's lots of certifications out there to get started with. If you haven't done anything in IT ever before, you have no idea what it's about, have a look at the Comp TIA A+ certification. It's a good one to dip your feet in and sort of get an understanding of the IT industry as a whole. Saying that, it's a pretty, I mean, it's not a great cert to show off. After that, I would have a look at the CompTIA again, Security Plus, and maybe a CCNA, and try and get yourself in a job as a network engineer so you can eventually get into security. Let's go to the next question, which is from Raul, but also kind of Grim Jim. The question is, going with Grim Jim's questions, assume we have required experience too. For example, let's say SIP and relevant certs too, so that feels the degree gap right. Yes, correct. That's exactly what the Safer Internet Project, or SIP, is designed to do. So we encourage you guys to get certifications so that you can use those certifications to move into an actual job. The experience piece is the bigger piece of everything. So a lot of the time they'll ask for your certifications and why you should get this job and if you are certified for it. And they also want to see some experience with you using the knowledge you learnt in those certifications to get a job. So that's sort of, I mean, anyone can go and buy a certification, which is fine, but it's hard to get experience. So that's why we started the Safer Internet Project, is so that we can give you that hands-on experience to learn. But I mean, every live stream I bang on about how great the Safer Internet Project is, but go and check it out for yourselves and see what it's about. That's my recommendation. Next question is from Jerry. Again, he says, study's going well. I'm taking the CFIR 410. It's a huge jump, and the beta exam is free till 30th of January. Awesome. So I'm going to binge studying on its content. Fantastic. That's exactly what I like to hear. I'm going to follow up with you again next week and see how you went. Next question is from Rymac, and they say, which has more job openings or will have in the future, cloud security architect or SOC analyst? Oh, that's a good one. You'll find that a lot of SOC analysts actually do cloud security stuff. As far as an architect goes, that's a very hard job to get. And you also need to have quite a lot of experience to get in as a cloud security architect, because you're designing and implementing and project managing a full cloud setup or implementation for a business. So an architect's a pretty serious job. I would say there's more jobs available for a SOC analyst, to be completely honest. But yeah, only because you said architect. If it was just a cloud security engineer, yeah, I mean, they're very similar jobs, to be very honest, but yeah. There's a question here that I'm going to skip, and it says here, fun question, Vim versus Emax. I hate Vim. I'll say, I can't stand it. I'm no good at it. I don't like it. Nano for life, bro. So I'm like the ultimate skid. I love Nano. Nano's good. Let's go to the next one. It's from CEO X, and the question is, what's the top cyber story you're following closely right now? I was following very closely the Revil thing, because that was evolving over the whole of last week, and it's a good story. I mean, it's almost like a spy movie, to be honest, how that sort of ended up. But yeah, that's the one I've been looking at most recently. Next question is from Sharma. He says, can you recommend any certification / source to learn cloud security? The easiest way to do it is to run up your own AWS or Azure instance and have a look at the different controls that you can put in place and just check it out. I mean, it's a great way to start to learn. Next question is from Ira, and the question is, could you suggest me some top universities to study undergraduate in ethical hacking? I've already answered this question a few times now in this stream, and I saw someone else answering you as well. So I'm going to skip over that one. Next question is from Jerry. It says, remember guys, you can study for the certifications, but don't have to pay for more than the cert itself. That's true. Next question is from Gustav, and I'll just copy pasta that in here, see if it fits. It does. The question is, what does a typical cybersecurity company do? What types of services they provide to other companies? Typically, they do security assessments on different business systems, and then produce a report out of the end of it. That's most typical. A lot of the time, they are also implementing, and this is like a managed service or managed security service provider business. So this is exactly what the place I work at does. And my own business does the exact same thing, where we go to customers and tell them that we can improve and harden their security. But first we do a security assessment. So we do a security assessment report, write down what's wrong, and then we go in and perform hardening on those environments to try and, make it better. Next question is from Kartik, and I'm definitely going to need to press enter on this one. All right. Do you have any best Surface or Onion site to download leaked database? No, I don't. Jerry says, smash the like button, everyone. That's a good point. For everyone who's watching this video, I don't know how many likes we got here at the moment. It says 20. For anyone who hasn't already smashed the like button, absolutely smash the like button. Oh, we're up to 38. It just refreshed on my screen. Smash like. Become a member of the YouTube channel if you want. I might start doing member-only chat one day. I've changed it now so you have to be a subscriber to chat, which I think is fine. But maybe one day I'll do member-only live streams. Ooh. Maybe. So if you want to become a member, become a member. If you don't, then don't. I mean, the world's your oyster. Do whatever you like. Next question is from Jose. He says, what's your favorite cert and why it's on the top of your list? Ooh. My favorite cert is actually the CCNA. I think it's like changed up a little bit now. It's not actually the CCNA, but the original CCNA was a super fun cert to do. And to be honest, it's the reason I got so far in cybersecurity and IT as a whole. It's the one cert that solved all of my problems. So yeah, that's it. Next question is from, it's not really a question, but it's from Rio. It says, love me some Vim, bud. Used to hate it, but after working with it, I'm in love now. I can't stand it, dude. I absolutely cannot stand Vim. It really irks my biscuit. And I just can't deal with it, to be honest. It's just too much messing about. I know a lot of people say, oh, once you get used to it, it's so much faster and better and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. It's not my thing, okay? Leave me alone. I'm just a regular skid, okay? I'm gonna have some chewing gum here. I'm also gonna wrap the stream up pretty soon, just heads up. All right, next question is from P. Ondi, and his question says, when starting cybersecurity, people tend to start with bug bounty, which is more to the red team side, yes, but I see a lot of opportunity in defensive side. Your opinion, please. My opinion is that you are absolutely correct. There is a lot more opportunity for jobs on the defensive side than there is on the offensive side. Bug bounties are a good place to learn. If you watched my last video, you would have seen my opinion on bug bounties, as well as Tommy DeVos's opinion that it is kind of flooded at the moment. But yeah, making money out of it is kind of hard. So yeah. Next question is from CEO X. And the question is, do you think it's better to enter the industry in a security company or a big consulting firm like Accenture? I'd go with the probably a cybersecurity company, because you'll probably see different environments. So it won't just be the one environment that you're stuck learning from. You'll be able to look at multiple different environments and see what's going on across different types of setups. So yeah. Bobby says it's a higher barrier to entry, but so powerful once you learned it. I've heard this 1,000 times about Vim, and I don't know if I can be bothered. Next question is from Rymac. Says, what's your recommended cloud security certification? I'd probably start with the Azure one. There's an Azure cloud security cert that's pretty cheap and covers a lot of the Microsoft suite. So yeah, I'd check that one out. Next question is from Victor. And the question is, oh, it's gone off the screen. That's so annoying. I'll update it. There we go. Do you know any interesting CyberSec documentaries? I've seen a few on YouTube. Any good ones you've seen lately? There's one on Aaron Schwartz, which is very interesting. It used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it's still there, but yeah, it's a pretty fun one to watch. Jose says, how's cyber being married life going? Big difference. It's exactly the same, dude. Life goes on. Life doesn't change once you get married, I'm telling you. Grim Jim said, would you recommend doing the CCNA if you have already obtained the Network Plus? Probably not. No. Next one is from... Oh. Accidentally hit my mic. It's from Jerry, and he says, DC, there was a time in your life where due to studying and other stuff, you neglected other aspects of your life, like social life. I feel this is a huge problem in cyber because it's more of a lifestyle. yeah, when I was starting in IT, cybersecurity didn't really exist because I'm actually pretty old, despite this beautiful young face that you're all looking at, self-proclaimed. But yeah, it didn't really affect me, to be honest, because all my friends are nerds as well, and we were just playing World of Warcraft and studying whatever we were doing. So yeah, it didn't really make much of a difference to me, to be honest. Utsav has asked a very interesting question. What do you do for your living? Like, how do I make money? I have multiple different income streams that all collectively make me a decent wage. So yeah, that's what I do. The Internet's Own Boy, Aaron Schwartz documentary. Oh yeah, there's also another one. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's called Don't Fuck with Cats. And it is a massive OSINT story to catch this absolute mental case. That one's a very good documentary to have a look at. Yeah, I watched it like a little while ago, and I found it to be pretty intense, that story. But that brings us to the end of this live stream. We are bang on the 1 hour mark, which is fantastic. It's been great to see you all here again. And I hope to see you all next week on the exact same time, on the exact same day, to continue this conversation in cybersecurity, of getting started, getting the right sort of motivation across there, and to learn about some stuff happening in the industry as it happens. As always, I hope to see you on the next live stream. If you haven't already smashed that like button, smash it now. If you want some merch, if you want to dress like I do and wear some cybersecurity merch, check out my merch store below. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next stream. Thanks for coming along. And I wish you all happiness and joy going into the next week of 2022. Peace out, guys.